Śūraṅgama Sutra, Volume 8, 88. The retribution of the ghost which takes shape in gases is finished when the gases are gone, and it is then reborn in the world, usually as a species of animal used for food. The retribution of the ghost of darkness is finished when the darkness ends, and it is then reborn in the world, usually as a species of animal used for clothing or service. The retribution of the ghost which unites with energy is finished when the union dissolves, and it is then reborn in the world, usually as a species of migratory creature. The retribution of the ghost of brightness and intellect is finished when the brightness disappears, and it is then reborn in the world, usually as a species of efficacious creature. The retribution of the ghost that relies on a person is finished when the person dies, and it is then reborn in the world, usually as a species of domestic animal. Ananda, all this is due to the burning out of his karmic fire in payment of his debts from past lives. The rebirth as an animal is also occasioned by his own false and empty karma. If he awakens to body, then fundamentally none of these false conditions will exist at all. You mentioned precious lotus fragrance, king crystal, and bhikshu good stars. Evil karma such as theirs was created by them alone. It did not fall down out of the heavens or well up from the earth, nor was it imposed on them by some person. Their own falseness brought it into being, and so they themselves have to undergo it. In the body-heart, it is empty and false, a cohesion of false thoughts. Moreover, Ananda, if while repaying his past debts by undergoing rebirth as an animal, such a living being pays back more than he owed, he will then be reborn as a human to rectify the excess. If the creditor is a person with strength, blessings, and virtue, then he can pay what he collected in excess without having to lose his human form. But if he lacks blessings, then he will be reborn as an animal to pay the outstanding balance. Ananda, if the debt involves money, material goods, or manual labor, then once it is paid, the debt is resolved. But if in the process of repayment the lives of other beings were taken, or their flesh eaten, then it will start a cycle of mutual devouring and slaughtering that will send the debtors and creditors up and down endlessly for as many eons as there are atoms of universe. There is no way to put a stop to it, except through shamatha or through a Buddha's coming to the world. You should know that when owls and their kind have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are born as obstinate people. When creatures that are inauspicious have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are born as abnormal people. When foxes have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are born as people who are simpletons. When creatures of the venomous category have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are born as malicious people. When tapeworms and their like have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are born as lowly people. When the edible types of creatures have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are reborn as weak people. When creatures that are used for clothing or service have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are reborn as people who do hard labor. When creatures that migrate have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are reborn as literary people. When efficacious creatures have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are reborn as intelligent people. When domestic animals have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are born as sophisticated people. Ananda, these are all beings that have finished paying back former debts and are born again in the human realm. They are involved in a beginningless scheme of karma and delusion, and spend their lives killing and being killed by one another. They do not get to meet the Tathagata or hear the proper Dharma. They just abide in the wearisome dust, passing through a repetitive cycle. Such people can truly be called pitiful. Furthermore, Ananda, there are people who do not rely on proper enlightenment to cultivate samadhi, but cultivate in some special way that is based on their false thinking. Holding to the idea of perpetuating their physical bodies, they roam in the mountains and forests in places people do not go, and become 10 kinds of immortals.